All right, check it out, here we go. Welcome back to Johnny's Corazon. As you know, I'm Johnny. We're back in the Corazon. I'd like to apologize, first off. It's been a while since I've been on here, you know. Well, last week was a very important week, okay? Over the weekend, had some special guests here. My mom and dad came to visit from Colorado, as it was my 6-year-old's birthday. So, happy birthday, baby girl. Love you lots. Okay, you know, I was thinking. Now, when I started all this, we were talking about cooking something. Cooking some different foods. Haven't cooked anything yet, so it's about time we get down to it, you know what I'm saying? Okay, check it out. Today, we're going to cook something that's very special to me, something that I grew up eating, a lot of you out there grew up eating, lots of my family members, you know, you make this yourself, your mom made it, grandma made it, something we call chile verde, green chili. There's lots of different types of green chili out there. My brothers and sisters from Mexico, they make something that's a little more tomatillo based. Last year I was in a chili cook-off, making this kind of green chili. People look at it and like, oh, what's that? Oh, is that some sort of white chili? No, this ain't no white chili. This is green chili, chile verde, you know what I'm saying? All right, so it's time to get it on. Let's do this, okay? All right, here's everything we're going to need for this green chili. Right here, we have our pork. I've cubed it all up. I've trimmed it up. I tend to get pretty lean cuts of meat. This way I have to spend less time trimming. Some people like a lot of fat in their meat. Me, I try to watch what I eat a little bit. Of course, up here, the most important part of this, the green chili. I use Hatch green chilies from Hatch, New Mexico. What I do is I puree them. This way it creates kind of a almost a paste that it's going to go inside that chili. It's going to get everywhere in there, so it's all part of the broth. Now, if you don't have any fresh green chili or frozen green chili, what you can always do is get a can of green chilies. They tend to be pretty mild, so if you want to spice it up, just get a can of the jalapenos as well. You probably want to stay away from the pickled jalapenos. You could use poblanos with this, Anaheim peppers. Just roast them, peel them, dice them up, puree them. Some people prefer theirs in bigger chunks. My homeboy Jason, he likes his chili in bigger chunks because he likes the texture of the chili. Now down here, we have our diced tomatoes. We'll be adding those in after we get everything going. Some people use water as a base in their chile verde. What I use right here is I use chicken broth. You can use chicken stock, chicken broth. This right here is out of a can. I ran out of my homemade stuff, so I'm using what I got. Right here we have a yellow onion. Look at about, half of a large yellow onion. One of those things you're going to adjust to your taste. Up here, that is a bay leaf. That's going to go in after we start simmering. Here we have about 3 garlic cloves. Remember, more or less, depending upon your taste, how much you like it. We'll be adding some salt to taste, some fresh ground pepper to taste, and this right here, a little bit of a cumin, comino. I prefer to use like the Mexican comino. It tends to be a little more strong, a little more pungent. If you just use whatever you got, though. You may have to add a little more, a little less. Just be careful with comino. It can overpower a dish real quickly. All right, it's time to get this going here. So I'm doing is I'm adding a little bit of oil to the bottom of my Dutch oven here. It's olive oil. Going to swirl that around a minute. The reason I'm doing that is because the meat I'm using is pretty lean. Now it's time to add in the meat right there. Kind of stir things around. Oh, looks like I lost a couple. Gonna get that going. Time to add in my salt. A little bit of salt. Some pepper. Remember, all this is to taste, okay? What do you like? Next, adding in the onion. We'll stir all this up. Get this cooking. Alright? Alright, so we're going to let that cook up for a minute. We're going to let it get a little bit brown. The next thing we'll add will be the garlic. After this cooks just a little bit, I'm going to add in that garlic, okay? Alright, we got that in there, cooking up real nicely. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that cook for just a couple of minutes here, okay? Alright, that's been cooking for a couple of minutes here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add in my garlic. Get all that diced garlic in there. Get that swirled around here with that carne, with that meat. Just gonna let that cook up. One thing I failed to mention when I was we were talking about everything that we're going to be needing in this dish is about a 1/4 cup of flour. The reason being, we're going to be creating a roux here after this meat is cooked through and it's nice and browned, okay? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and let this cook up just a little bit more. Let this meat finish up, get cooked all the way through.
We ran into some technical difficulties. That next part of the video, I don't know what happened. And when I'm making this food, I mean, this is my family's supper, so I really don't have the time to do a couple takes when it comes to the actual cooking. So I'll give you a quick rundown of what happened. Okay, added in that flour. Created a nice little roux. Mixed that flour in there so it's part of the meat, basically, okay? Then, slowly added in that chicken broth. Helps to keep things nice and thick. Added in that tomato. Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Okay, now what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and throw in that bay leaf right there. And the most important part right here, that green chili. Oh, look at that. Going in there. Get as much of that out of there as we can, you know what I'm saying? Alright. I'm going to go ahead and stir that in there. I can smell it already. It's smelling great. Okay. So yeah, now see by pureeing it, that green chili just becomes part of the broth, or the caldo. So you're going to have that great green chili spice and taste in every bite. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let this simmer for about an hour or so. And then we'll go from there. That's my green chili recipe. I mean, it's really not all that hard. It takes a little bit of time, a little bit of practice just to get the taste that you want. Now that recipe that I made there, that I threw together for you, that's one that I actually won a chili cook-off at the place I used to work at. But remember, make this yours. You know, my suegra, my mother-in-law, she puts hominy in hers. It's really good. I really like that a lot. You know, my homeboy Larry back home in Colorado, he grows different chilies in his garden. He roasts those chilies and he tries different chiles in there, just mixing it up, trying different things. Remember, make it yours. All right, until next time.